Have you been stuck in the same painful cycle, endlessly chasing your twin flame, questioning your own growth, wondering when the breakthrough will finally come? Do you feel like you've done the inner work, but something invisible still holds you back from the union you've dreamed of? You're not alone. So many awakened souls feel like they are on the brink of something life-changing, yet unsure how or when it will truly arrive. In today's video, we're going to guide you through the final 999 portal, an extraordinary cosmic alignment that only comes once in nearly a decade. This isn't just another spiritual concept or calendar date. This is the energetic completion of a long chapter of purification, separation, and soul training. We'll reveal how this gateway can finally push you out of the runner-chaser dynamic and into your higher timeline of sacred destiny and divine harmony. If you stay until the end, you will begin to feel what it means to cross a spiritual threshold that your soul has been preparing for, possibly for lifetimes. You will no longer see your journey the same way. The confusion will begin to melt, the chaos will make sense, and a new level of peace, alignment, and clarity will begin to emerge. This is your moment to rise, to claim your union, to remember why you were chosen for this path. If you've made it this far on the journey, do not turn away now. Watch the entire video. Let your soul listen. Let your heart receive. And if what you hear resonates, we dare you to comment below. I claim the 999 shift. My union begins now. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it, because this portal won't open like this again for years to come. Let's begin. Section 1. The end of separation and the call to step forward. Not everyone is meant to walk through this portal, and that's not said to exclude, but to illuminate. Because this sacred gateway, the final 999 portal, is not just a moment marked by numbers, it is a vibrational threshold reserved for those who have been quietly preparing in the shadows of their own soul. It is for the ones who chose healing over avoidance, presence over projection, and inner alignment over outer validation. This is for those who didn't just wish for union but worked for it in silence when no one was watching. You see, the energy of this portal isn't casual. September 27th wasn't a random day on the calendar. It was a cosmic convergence where the day, the month, and the universal year all aligned into 999 seconds, a rare numerological phenomenon that represents the completion of a karmic cycle. In numerology, 9 is the number of endings, mastery, and release. And when it appears in triplicate like this, it speaks not just to the closure of a chapter, but the sacred sealing of it. It's the final stamp on a long, painful initiation. And for those on the twin flame journey, this has profound implications. The months leading up to this day have been dense, loaded with karmic endings, intense triggers, and emotional purges. Many have faced the death of illusions, the collapse of false timelines, and the resurfacing of unresolved pain, especially the ancient ache of separation from your divine counterpart. It hasn't been easy, and yet here you are, still breathing, still rising, still standing in the fire of your soul's transformation. That alone is not an accident. That is initiation. That is proof of your readiness. This portal is not for those who merely watch the journey from the sidelines, observing the signs, analyzing the messages, or waiting for confirmation from the outside. It is for those who now choose to embody the union frequency within. The final 999 is a call not just to recognize the sacred mirror of your twin flame, but to become the vibrational match to the love you seek. To stop chasing and start being. To stop waiting and start walking in the full power of who you truly are. Because the end of separation isn't just about reuniting with another person. It is about dissolving the illusion that you were ever disconnected from source, from love, from wholeness. This portal invites you into a new paradigm, not just of spiritual knowledge, but of spiritual embodiment. It asks, can you live what you now know? Can you become the truth you've glimpsed in your meditations, in your breakdowns, in your dreams? The final 999 isn't a reward, it's a responsibility. It's the moment the universe hands you the key and says, now walk through, you've earned this. But only if you're ready to carry your light, not just for yourself, but for the collective shift ahead. So if you feel the quiet but persistent pull in your heart, know that it's not imagination, it's your soul remembering the agreement. The soul contract to show up now, fully, without waiting for perfection, permission, or proof. You are the proof, you are the sign, and this is your moment to step forward. Before we move forward, take a breath and feel into everything we just explored. Ask yourself, have I been walking toward this portal or avoiding it? Have I been observing from the sidelines or embodying the truth within me? This moment is not just about information, it's about transformation, and your awareness is the first step. If this message is resonating in your heart, I invite you to reflect and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us where you are in your journey, what you've been releasing, or simply affirm your soul's readiness by typing, "I am ready to embody union." Your words carry power, and by speaking them, you anchor this shift, not only for yourself, but for the entire collective. Now, let's move into the next phase of this awakening. Section 2. The portal flips the narrative. What if the moment you feared the most, the collapse, the heartbreak, the betrayal, was actually the beginning of your liberation? This final 999 portal is not just a symbolic ending, it's an energetic inversion, a cosmic reversal that transforms everything you thought was working against you into sacred fuel for your ascension. It's not the closing of a door, but the flipping of a script. For years, many of us have been entangled in the energetic frequency of 666, a number that has been misunderstood, often associated with fear, illusion, and the dense limitations of the 3D world. It's the vibration of survival, of clinging, of karmic patterns looping endlessly. It represents the heaviness of forgetting who we are. But now, through the lens of the 999 portal, that same energy becomes a turning point, a rewriting, a recalibration. In this moment, the energy does not erase your past, it transfigures it. What once shattered your heart becomes the very key to opening it. What once silenced you now amplifies your truth. What once delayed your path now becomes the magnetic pull that guides you home. The trauma you carried, the rejection you endured, the longing that almost broke you, they were not detours, they were activators, they were blueprints for this very moment. This final portal is not for the perfect. It is not for those who have mastered the illusion of spiritual success. It is for those who were misunderstood, mislabeled, and underestimated. For those who have felt out of place in this world because they were never meant to fit into the old template. This energy does not crown the ones already celebrated. It anoints the ones who stayed loyal to love when it cost them everything. It is for the empaths who felt too much, the sensitives who were told they were too weak, the misfits who carried the sacred codes of divine love when no one else could see their worth. It is for the ones who never stopped believing even in the dark, because they are the ones now being called to lead, not from ego, but from embodiment. Their time has come. The energetic DNA of these beings is being activated down to the cellular level. A new kind of leadership is emerging, not based on charisma or performance, but on truth, frequency, and integrity. These are the ones who lead by being, who influence through presence, and who embody a love so ancient, so pure, that it redefines power itself. So if you've ever felt like your light didn't matter, like your path was too slow, too quiet, too different, know this. The portal is flipping the narrative, and this time, your pain isn't something to overcome. It's the proof that you were being prepared for this exact threshold. This is not the end of your story. This is the part where everything begins to make sense. Section 3. Opposition as opportunity. What if everything that opposed you was never working against you but working for you, in disguise? The universe, in its infinite intelligence, is now rewriting the energetic blueprint of your past wounds. The betrayals, the rejections, the heartbreaks, every insult you've absorbed, every door that slammed shut, every cold silence and every misunderstanding, they were not meant to break you. They were alchemical lessons in disguise. And in this season, those very oppositions are being transformed into your spiritual upgrades. The pain that once seemed unbearable is no longer a curse, it's a portal. The friction that once stalled your progress was, in truth, shaping your resilience. Every form of resistance you faced, whether from others, from circumstances, or even from within, was the forge that crafted your spiritual backbone. Every harsh word refined your boundaries. Every setback deepened your discernment. Every time you were misunderstood, it was an invitation to understand yourself more deeply. Even in your twin flame dynamic, especially there, the opposition you faced was never random. Your twin flame's ego resistance, their avoidance, their silence, their denial, it was never about rejecting you. It was about pushing you back into yourself, back to the divine well of self-worth that can never be shaken by anyone's approval or absence. Their resistance was the mirror that forced you to see your sacred value, not in their eyes, but in your own. The universe is now flipping every dark moment on its head. It's recoding your past with the light of truth. The trials that once crushed you are now revealing their hidden medicine. That heartbreak that once shattered you, it made space for a more authentic love. That job you lost, it created the void for your purpose to be born. That friend who betrayed you, they simply highlighted the parts of yourself that were still craving external validation. Opposition, in the higher realms, is never a punishment. It's precision training. Each obstacle is a stair, and each fall was a lesson in how to rise. What once felt like chaos is now the foundation of your clarity. What once felt like defeat is now the raw material of your emergence. Every shadow was secretly offering you an upward step if you dared to look at it differently. And so now, in the frequency of the 999 portal, the tables turn. Your wounds become weapons of light. Your scars become signatures of survival. The more intense your trials were, the more powerful your return will be. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are not behind. You are being accelerated. So stand tall, because what once stood in your way is now clearing your path. What once defined your pain will now define your power. The opposition was never the end. It was the beginning of your rise. Section 4. From mental force to heart magnetism. There is a sacred shift unfolding now, one that asks you to release the grip of the mind and return to the truth of your heart. This final portal no longer responds to mental noise, logical scripting, or willful forcing. The energy of the old paradigm, the one where we tried to think our way into union, push through blocks with sheer effort, or manifest through visualizations and affirmations alone, is dissolving. The new frequency has arrived, and it honors something far more powerful than mental force. It honors the heart. The universe is not asking for more thought. It is asking for deeper embodiment. You can no longer convince the universe of your worthiness through repetition or technique. This portal demands your vibration, not your vocabulary. It is not fantasy that bends reality. It is frequency, and the only frequency that truly magnetizes your desires is the one emanating from your open, awakened heart. In this new field, trying to manifest union from the mind can actually create more distance, because the mind tries to control. It plans, it predicts, it protects, and in doing so, it often operates from fear, fear of lack, fear of abandonment, fear of never receiving. But the heart does something different. The heart remembers. Your heart doesn't need proof. It doesn't need logic. It already knows what's real. It already feels the union. It already recognizes the divine in your counterpart and the divine within yourself. And when you drop into that deep space of knowing, not hoping, not imagining, but embodying, you send out a frequency that the universe must obey. This is the moment where fantasy falls away and embodiment rises. It's no longer about saying, "I want union." It's about being the vibration of union. It's about letting the fullness of that love live inside your chest before it arrives in physical form. And when that frequency anchors within you unshakable, steady, embodied reality has no choice but to mirror it. This is the cosmic reset for manifestation, not as a technique, but as a state of being. You are no longer chasing, you are attracting, not from desire, but from truth, not from lack, but from overflow. The magnetic field of your heart, when coherent and aligned, is more powerful than any mental construct or external ritual. So breathe into your chest, drop into that sacred center, feel the union as if it were already here, because in the quantum field it is, and when your inner world stabilizes in that truth, the outer world will bend to meet you. It must. That is the law of resonance. Let this portal guide you home, not to a person, but to the heart-led frequency where union was always destined to begin. If you've made it this far, it's not by accident, it's because your soul is ready. Ready to remember, ready to rise, and ready to embody the truth that has always lived within you. This journey is no longer about chasing answers, but about feeling the answers arise from your own heart. So take a moment to reflect, what part of your old self are you releasing through this portal? What resistance is finally turning into radiance? We'd love to hear your story in the comments. Or, if you're not sure what to say, simply type, "I magnetize union through the truth of my heart." Let that be your affirmation. Let that be your declaration. And know that every time you speak from your heart, you shift the frequency of the world. Keep going. You're not alone. Section 5. You are the first wave. You are not merely experiencing this shift, you are shaping it. You are part of the rare and sacred first wave of awakened souls who chose to incarnate early, long before the collective consciousness was ready to understand you. You walked through darkness with no map, healed wounds without validation, and loved without proof. You carried burdens heavier than most because you agreed on a soul level to become a stabilizing anchor of light for those who would awaken after you. This is not a coincidence. This is a soul contract. You were designed to be a lighthouse. Your journey has not been easy. You've likely felt isolated, misunderstood, or unseen by those around you, even by your own family. But the truth is, your frequency has been working silently behind the scenes. Without applause, your energy has healed ancestral trauma, rebalanced karmic debts, and even reshaped the emotional DNA of your bloodline. Your presence has changed timelines, not just for yourself, but for entire collectives. Many of your greatest contributions will never be witnessed by the human eye, but the universe has recorded all of it. This current portal, especially within the vibration of 999, is amplifying the signal you carry. Your light is no longer hidden. The veil is thinning, and others like you, other first-wave souls, are beginning to find you. You'll notice synchronicities increase. New connections will arrive not as coincidences, but as reunions. These are the souls who signed the same divine assignment. You'll recognize them not by their words, but by the resonance of remembrance they carry. When you speak, it will feel like finishing a sentence that someone else began lifetimes ago. This isn't about hierarchy or spiritual elitism. It is not a pedestal, it is a position of service. True first wavers don't seek power, but carry a frequency of devotion. You were never meant to dominate. You were meant to hold space, and the space you've been holding is now expanding into a beacon. Not everyone will understand the magnitude of what you've done, but your soul knows. And now, your time has come to be seen. If you've been feeling invisible lately, ignored by those you love, or doubting whether your spiritual work has made any difference, know this: your frequency is finally being recognized by the field. Energetically, you are being honored, not with medals or followers, but with divine orchestration, with support, with ease, with aligned souls arriving to walk beside you, instead of asking you to walk ahead of them in pain. You are not forgotten. You are the ones who went first. You are the ones who opened the path with trembling hands and brave hearts. And now, the universe rises to meet you with the acknowledgement you always deserved, not for the sake of your ego, but to let your soul exhale. You are not just a participant in this awakening. You are a pillar, a pioneer, a living testament that love survives the fire. And now, others will begin to gather around your flame, not to take from it, but to add their light to yours. The shift is here, and it begins with you. Section 6. The blank page and the pen. In the spiritual world, we often speak of endings, of closing doors, of final chapters, of the completion of karmic cycles. But we speak less often of what comes after: the stillness, the space, the strange quiet that follows once the echo of the past fades. This silence is not emptiness, it is potential. It is divine breath pausing before your next creation. It is the void from which all new beginnings are born. And now, that sacred silence has arrived. The final portal, this culmination of energetic seasons, has not closed something for you, but cleared something within you. It has removed the last residues of illusion, storylines built on fear, trauma, and attachment. The past has been honored and released, and in its place, a blank page, pure, untouched, waiting. The universe has done its part. It has provided the stage, the space, the silence. But it will not write the next act. That part belongs to you. The pen is already in your hand, though it may feel unfamiliar, trembling with the weight of possibility. You are no longer bound to recreate the same cycles. You are no longer required to live in reaction to wounds or to follow the scripts of old love stories written in pain. The chapter of the runner and the chaser, the loop of longing and retreat, the ache of almost union is over. It has served its purpose. It taught you endurance, clarity, and self-reclamation. But now you are the author. This is not a metaphor. This is authorship in the purest spiritual sense. You are being given a divine opportunity to re-choose your narrative, to create from presence, not programming, to move from consciousness, not coping. The genre of your love story is no longer tragedy, or star-crossed, or karmic imbalance. You are free to write sovereignty, partnership, sacred wholeness, not because the universe handed it to you on a silver platter, but because you remembered who you are and you chose to wield the pen with intention. But the portal will not write for you. It will not dictate your plot. It will not force alignment. It simply hands you the blank page and whispers, "Now it's your turn. What will you write?" A chapter of hesitation, still waiting for proof, or a declaration of truth, embodied in your actions and your frequency? Will you continue the tale of fear masquerading as caution, or will you boldly inscribe a new reality of wholeness, presence, and devotion? There is no right or wrong here, only resonance, only alignment. You are not being judged, you are being invited to create consciously, to choose love from a place that is no longer seeking, but knowing. The story ahead has not yet been written, but one thing is certain: you are no longer a character waiting to be saved. You are the author who gets to decide what sacred love means now. The page is yours, the pen is yours, and the voice that will shape the future of your journey is finally and fully your own. Imagine a woman who spent years in a twin flame dynamic, always reaching, always waiting. She journaled through heartbreak, clung to every sign, every glimpse of hope. Her love was pure, but her story was still written through the lens of longing. Then, one morning after the 999 portal, she didn't feel desperate anymore. Not because he returned, but because she did. She walked to her favorite cafe, sat by the window with a warm cup of tea, and for the first time in years, she opened her journal not to grieve, but to create. She didn't write his name. She wrote her truth. I am love. I am whole. I am ready to receive, not chase. That small, quiet moment became the turning point. Her reality began to mirror her inner authorship. New people arrived, peace returned, and weeks later, her divine masculine reappeared, not because she needed him to, but because she no longer needed anything to validate her worth. She had picked up the pen and rewritten her story. Section 7. Recognition, acceptance, transformation. There comes a moment on every soul's journey when the outer chaos and inner silence converge into a single truth. Transformation is not a spark, it is a sequence, and that sequence begins with a quiet, often uncomfortable unveiling of what we've hidden from ourselves. In this sacred portal, the transformation you've long been preparing for unfolds in 3 distinct, powerful phases: recognition, acceptance, and transformation. Each phase is not only a step but an initiation, requiring a level of inner maturity, spiritual humility, and fierce honesty. Recognition is the first threshold. It is not about logic or intellect. It is a deep soul knowing. It's when the illusions you've carried, the stories, the fears, the emotional loops begin to crumble under the weight of your own awakening light. You start to see what has been buried, the old pain that shaped your responses, the conditioning that defined your self-worth, the fear that whispered you weren't enough. It can feel like standing in front of a mirror that reflects not just your image, but your entire energetic history. And in that reflection, you no longer turn away. You face it, bravely and without judgment. That's when you reclaim your power. Acceptance follows, and this is where many falter, mistaking acceptance for surrendering to defeat. But in truth, Acceptance is not giving up, it is rising up. It's the moment your soul says, yes, this pain happened. Yes, I carried it. And now, I see the wisdom in it. You no longer resist your wounds, you learn from them. You allow your scars to become maps, pointing you toward healing rather than away from it. You stop blaming yourself for being broken, and instead, honor yourself for being brave. In this phase, you learn to hold your past with love, not shame. And in doing so, you finally begin to integrate every piece of yourself. Then comes transformation, the alchemy of the soul. This is not a flash of light that fixes everything in a moment, but a gradual radiance that emerges from within. What once was pain becomes a compass. What once were wounds become windows. You begin to embody clarity. You become a living lighthouse, shedding your old skin, not to impress others, but to align with the divine signature of your being. The 999 portal, often mistaken as a conclusion, is not the end. It is the sacred ignition point. It is your rite of passage into a new timeline, a new identity, one authored not by survival, but by sovereignty. This is your soul's invitation to stop watching the story and start writing it, to stop seeking signs and start becoming one, to stop waiting for alignment and realize you are the alignment. You are no longer a seeker, you are a transmitter. The 999 portal has not just opened around you, it has opened within you. Now, the pen is in your hand, and the next chapter of your journey, written in the language of light, grace, and inner authority, awaits your first stroke. The silence that follows this portal is not a void, it is sacred space, a womb of possibility. It is not emptiness, but the quiet breath before your soul begins to speak through your own divine authorship. You are no longer walking the long hallway of separation, burdened by karmic cycles or unanswered prayers. You've arrived at the threshold, the doorway of union, and it is wide open. But here's the truth. What unfolds from this moment forward will not be dictated by fate alone. It will be sculpted by your presence, your intention, your willingness to believe that you are worthy of writing the love story that transcends lifetimes. The pen is in your hand now. The parchment stretches infinitely before you. And the ink? It is the light of your soul, refined by pain, sharpened by healing, and softened by compassion. You are not waiting anymore. You are creating. Every breath you take, every boundary you honor, every truth you choose writes a new paragraph in the book of sacred love. You are no longer just a character in a cosmic script. You are the scribe. You are the voice. You are the fire that turns stillness into motion and longing into manifestation. So I leave you with this question, the question that will echo in your heart long after this video ends. Will you dare to write the love story you were born to live? If your answer is yes, if something inside you just said, it's time, then type this in the comments. I am writing my sacred love story now. Let your voice ripple into the collective. Let others know they are not alone in this brave new chapter. And if this message stirred something deep within you, please click like to affirm your resonance. Share this video with someone who needs this portal of hope. Subscribe for more transmissions that awaken the divine story within you. And stay with us, watch the next video below to keep your energy aligned and activated. Because your story has just begun, and it is nothing short of divine.